You know, when you listen to any big political speech, it's not just about what's being said, right? It's really about how it's being said. Today, we're going to break down a classic and really powerful storytelling technique used by President Trump. It's called the turnaround narrative, and it's a simple, powerful story. A nation was in crisis, a hero came to the rescue, and a rebirth was promised.
So here's the game plan for how this story gets told. It follows 5 basic steps. First, you have to establish that you inherited a mess. Then, you show the turnaround in action. Next, you back it all up with an economic comeback. After that, you zoom out to restoring American strength. And finally, you sell a grand vision for the future. Let's walk through it.
And right here, this is the whole thing in a nutshell. This one line, right at the top, sets the stage for the entire speech. It perfectly frames the story we're about to hear. It's super simple. Here was the problem, and here's me, the guy who's fixing it.
All right, so part 1, inheriting a mess. For this kind of turnaround story to really land, you have to believe there was a huge problem to begin with, right? So what exactly was this mess that the speech claims was inherited?
Well, the picture it paints is a crisis on, like, every single front. You've got the claim that inflation was the worst it's been in almost 50 years. Then there's the border, described as being invaded. Crime at record levels, according to the speech. It even gets into cultural stuff and then claims that on the world stage, America was basically a joke, laughed out from all over the world. This is the before picture the whole story is built on.
Okay, so once you've set up the problem, what's next? Part 2, a turnaround in action. This is the hero swoops in part of this story, where we hear all about the immediate, decisive fixes.
And the first move is a big one. It's all about the border. The speech makes this really dramatic claim that for the last 7 months, 0 illegal aliens have been allowed in. I mean, 0. As a storytelling tool, that's a huge punch. It's presented as a complete 180-degree reversal of the old way of doing things.
From there, the speech kind of zooms out a bit, but sticks with this theme of restoring order. So you get this string of actions. First, control the border. Then, make cities safer by deporting criminals. Then, go after the drug cartels. And it even touches on schools, framing it as taking back control from, quote, woke radicals. You can see how each of these points is meant to sound really strong and decisive.
All right, let's switch gears to part 3, the economic comeback. This is a really key moment in the story. We're moving from safety and security to your wallet. And to make the case, the speech starts throwing out some very specific numbers to show that, hey, this comeback is already happening.
So, one of the main arguments here is a super simple before and after on the cost of living. It basically says, look at how things were. Car prices up, gas prices up, airfare up. And now? The claim is that all of those prices are coming down fast. It's a really clear, easy-to-digest contrast. And to really bring that point home, the speech zooms in from the gas pump right to your kitchen table. It talks about specific things, claiming huge price drops for eggs and Thanksgiving turkeys. Why? Because that makes a big, abstract idea like the economy feel personal. It connects it right to your grocery list, which is, a super effective way to argue your point.
So that's one side of the coin. Prices going down. But then the speech flips it over to talk about the other side. Your paycheck. The argument isn't just that stuff is getting cheaper, it's that people are earning more. And it specifically focuses on blue-collar jobs. Factory workers, construction workers, miners.
And then it makes a really, really important point about who is getting these jobs. The claim here is a total 180 from before, saying that every single new net job created has gone to an American-born citizen, 100%.
So what's the magic ingredient here? What does the speech say is causing all this good economic news? Well, it points straight to tariffs. The argument is that these tariffs have brought in a staggering amount of investment. We're talking a claimed $18 trillion. And that's what's supposedly bringing factories and jobs back home.
Okay, on to part 4, restoring American strength. So we've covered the economy. Now the story broadens out again to talk about American power, not just around the world, but also right here at home, with things like healthcare. And when it comes to foreign policy, the speech just lays out this machine gun-style list of accomplishments. And look at the scale of these claims. Settling 8 wars in 10 months, ending the war in Gaza, bringing peace to the Middle East for the first time in 3,000 years. The point of listing them like this is to create a sense of just overwhelming success and power. And this is clever, because it links the economic story right back to the military story. It introduces this thing called the warrior dividend, a special payment for service members. And it makes a point to say this is being paid for by those tariffs we talked about earlier.
So it's framed as a direct payback, a thank you funded by the new economic strategy.
Hopping back to the home front for a second, the speech takes on healthcare in a big way. It makes this huge promise to slash drug prices, and we're talking by hundreds of %. How? By taking on the drug companies and negotiating with other nations. It's classic us versus them framing, a fight for the little guy against these powerful interests.
And that brings us to the grand finale, Part 5, A Vision for the Future. This is where all the different threads we've been following get woven together into one big, powerful image of a country that's been brought back from the brink.
Wow. I mean, this quote right here, it's the whole story in one breath. It's the perfect before and after. It says, a year ago, our country was dead, and now we're the hottest country anywhere in the world. You can't get much more dramatic than that.
So you see, the final message isn't really about dollars and cents. It's about something bigger. It's about America's identity. It lays out this vision of a country that's loyal to its people, faithful to its workers, sure of itself, and, yeah, once again, the envy of the entire globe.
And then it all gets tied up with a bow in this final summary. If you look closely, each one of these points is a direct answer to one of the problems mentioned way back at the beginning: the border, inflation, wages, respect. It's designed to be a simple, powerful, mission-accomplished statement.
So what are we supposed to make of all this? Well, here's the thing. Whether you believe any of the specific claims or not, the real power here is in the storytelling. This before and after structure, this turnaround narrative. It is one of the most effective ways to communicate, period. It takes all these complicated issues and boils them down to a really simple story. Things were bad, I fixed them, now things are good. It's easy to understand, it's compelling, and it can be incredibly persuasive. So knowing how that framework is built is probably one of the most important tools you can have when you're listening to, well, pretty much any political message.